So Joshua, what did we do this weekend?
Well, this weekend, we went to the Walkaway Rally! Yay!
We did! Yay! Yay! Walkaway Rally. And so I thought guys, just so you know, we basically have two topics on tonight's show, and we will look to the rest of you to ask us any remaining questions. One, we are going to talk about the Walkaway Rally and Joshua's impressions of it and how the media lies. They're lying liars. And then two, we are going to talk about the giant pink elephant in the middle of the room that got placed there today by the Biden campaign. That is Kamala Harris and her vice presidential nomination. And we're going to look at Kamala's chart and talk about all that good stuff. But before we do that, we should probably do our little intro to the show, which I normally do a little bit further in. But we got stuff to talk about tonight, Joshua. So, guys, welcome to Nothing Remotely Controversial. This is a show that Joshua and I do every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where I banter about the news and whatever I find interesting. And Joshua, who is a professional psychic, uses his tarot cards and psychic prowess to peer beneath the surface and tell us what's really going on and all that good stuff. And we have a special shout out tonight before we get into our topic. We want to give a shout out to Casper, whose birthday is tomorrow. So hello, Casper. We love you. Thank you for your support. Happy birthday, my friend. Glad we could do a little shout out for you. Make a wish, yes. And let us know what the wish is if you feel like sharing in the chat. All right, so we went to the Walkaway Rally on Saturday, which I was very excited about. And Joshua, you promised in our last episode that you were going to wear an outfit for this rally.
I did.
And I have to say, guys, just in case you haven't seen my posts on social media, Joshua delivered on the outfit. Look at it. I was actually very, very impressed. Joshua, tell us about this ensemble.
Well, this is an ensemble that was about $22 on Amazon that I thought would be kind of cool, and it was. It went over really, really well. Everybody loved it.
It was a really good outfit. You were definitely, I think, the most dolled up person at the entire rally.
That's me. I'm just a doll.
So I really enjoyed that. But the rally, I mean, listen, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but both the march and the rally were pretty awesome. What did you think?
I really thought it was a spectacular event. I mean, as you know, I'm very much like into energy, and everybody was just so positive and enlightened, and everybody was just feeling really, really good. It was just a really, really high vibe place to be. I mean, I think that you just have a collective group of people, and they're all there for the same thing. So it's a matter of there's that like collective unity, and everybody was just really, really great. And there was absolutely, I mean, flew over my head if there was any bullshit. Like, you know, I guess maybe some people when we were doing the march that stuck up their middle fingers to us, and maybe some people booed, but pales in comparison to all the honks that we got. And we're talking West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, which is ultra right. So there's a lot of
You mean ultra left?
Sorry. Yes, left.
Strike that, reverse it.
Strike. No, they're very liberal in this area of California, and we had a lot of people that were honking at us, cheering. It was really nice.
No, we did have so many people. Like, the feedback was so good. And to be honest, guys, I was actually really nervous the night before. I think Joshua can corroborate this. I was actually very nervous about the reception that we were going to get. And then, I mean, once it was as soon as we got out of the Uber at the march, because there was a march and there was a rally, and not everyone who participated in the rally participated in the march. But basically, we started a march in West Hollywood all the way to Beverly Hills. It was like, what, Joshua, like 1.5 miles, 2 miles, something like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we joined the people who were already gathered in Beverly Hills to have our rally. And I was actually really nervous. Like, we were talking about this at dinner the night before, and Brandon was telling us, like, oh, the gays hate Walkaway, the gays hate Walkaway. So I was thinking that there were going to be a lot of people yelling at us in West Hollywood who are not going to be nice. But it wasn't like that at all. Like as soon as we got out of the van, all we saw was like this mass of people, and they're all having Trump flags, and they all had a great time. They were like rainbow Trump flags and rainbow Gadsden flags too, which I really liked. And and we waited around probably for what, like half an hour, 45 minutes before the march even started.
It was a bit, but even then, you got to talk to people, and so many people actually watched, know of you and watch our show. So it was great to meet all the all the people who watch us. That was really awesome too. There were quite a few.
Yeah, no, that was awesome too. And I'm not, ragging on them for waiting around. I thought that was great. But as we were waiting around, just more and more people kept coming. And as you were looking around the street, you would just see people coming from this side and people coming from that side. I mean, I'm not sure about the exact numbers for the march, but I think because we were up closer to the front of the march, but when you looked back, you just saw like blocks and blocks of people with their flags. And I want to say there were at least 300 or 400 people just in the march alone. And we got a great reception. There were very few people that were angry at us. There were a couple people that drove by us and were obviously really angry and were flipping us off. And, there was one woman when we walked by one restaurant held up an F Trump sign. But most people were actually really welcoming. There were horns blaring for us and support the whole time. I mean, am I right about that?
100% correct. There was so much, I think, support compared to anything else. Of course, I think that when we weren't in the defensive, we were feeling really good. So stuff that may have been negative just may have gone right over our heads. But yeah, there were so many people. I could not believe. I think a lot of people, because of COVID, they were trepidatious about going to the march and going to the rally. But instead, what they did is they drove in the safety of their vehicles to show their support, which they did.
No, and I thought it was so much fun to be at. And then we get to the rally, and there are already a ton of people there already. And so the rally was even better because we got to hear from speakers. We got to hear from, you got to meet Scott Baio. I did not officially meet Scott Baio. You got to meet Scott Baio.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Well, okay. You got to remember that, I grew up watching Happy Days and syndication, and then Charles in Charge. So to actually see Scott Baio, and it was like one of those things that I'm like, oh my God, this Scott Baio's across from me. And he was very, very nice. Sometimes when you meet celebrities that you grew up watching, it's terrible. It's a horrible disappointment. What is it they say? Never meet your idols, or but he was just so nice and so humble. And I think that what is important to remember is that it's not easy to have achieved what he achieved in terms of his career, and the fact that he gets so shit on by Hollywood is really reprehensible, in the sense that they can't really just separate his ideology from all the work and all the service he really has done. So I thought that was a shame. But he was terrific, and he looks great.
He looks great. Lorenzo Lamas looks great too. I have to say, Lorenzo Lamas has his shit together. And that was really cool. Now you got to see me give a speech. How did I do?
I'm good. Oh my God. Okay, so I've been working with you for ages. I think it's about 27 years now, maybe?
Forever and a day, yes.
Yeah. So I have seen your speeches online. I've heard about your speeches. I'm sure I've read transcripts of your speeches, but I never actually was there, in the flesh, watching you speak. And it was such an amazing experience for me because, number one, you went after somebody who was phenomenal, who was just really, really powerful. And I remember, I knew that you could handle it, but I'm like, frig, I'd hate to follow that. You know what I mean? Anyway, you go up there and you just took your audience by the hand, and then you then got really, really passionate. You brought up such really, really good points. And I just remember it was just so powerful. And everybody has said, with the different people that you've worked with over the years about your power. I've always seen it in your astrological chart, but in this speech, it was like you could actually understand why and how you've achieved so much success in terms of speaking, because it really is that good. You really are that good. And I never got to experience that before in the flesh. So I was over the moon.
I swear I didn't pay him to say that. I swear I didn't.
And I cannot lie about things. Like I really can. I'm a terrible liar. Like if I thought she sucked, I would probably be like, let's change the subject. Yeah, it was good. Anyway, I gotta go. It was so good. And there were other people there that were so great too. I mean, there was just, you laugh during these speeches and they're somewhat intense and they're very educational. I mean, as you know, I don't watch the news nearly as much as Connor Leonard, probably anybody else in the world. But you learn so much, and so many of them really shined a light on the perspective, a different perspective about what's going on. It was just very eye-opening. It was just really great and just great energy. It was really wonderful.
Mm-hmm. No, I thought it was phenomenal, and like Mikey spoke and Brandon spoke, and everyone was just so good, right?
They were so good. Mikey was absolutely hysterical. He was phenomenal. Everybody was just great, and yeah, I was really blown away by everyone. And again, I mean, it's hot. I mean, to just be in that situation, you're almost like ready to be bored, but not in any respect was I ever bored. Like everything was just really, really great. Everybody was phenomenal. So great job, everybody.
Thank you. And I want to emphasize this because you are not a political person. I don't think you really take either side. You don't really pay attention to what goes on. You mostly hear about that stuff from me. And that actually works for the psychic readings that you do on here. But you weren't there as part of like any sort of political faction. You were there because I dragged you there and I think you wanted to wear a fun outfit, right?
Yeah, and I do love America, and I do love the police. I love the police. I have a lot of police people in my family, and I love America. So, in terms of things like that, like I can 100% get behind America. I mean, America has given me an amazing career, an amazing life that I don't believe I would have been able to achieve elsewhere. So I owe a lot to America, and I feel that the pro-American perception and perspective of Walkaway is really important. So
And I bring that up specifically because I've been trying to red pill you for a while, and you've been so far rather resistant to my red pills. Sometimes you go in a little bit and then you back up, you go hang around like, the progressives that you work with, and you go in the other direction. And so it's been a little bit back and forth. But I said to you at the rally, I said, it's going to be interesting to see how the media covers this. Yes. Didn't I?
Very much so.
And so, Joshua, let me just pull up. Oh gosh, where did it go on my screen? Oh, there it is. Let me just pull up this article from your local news source that says nearly 300 walkaway demonstrators rally in West Hollywood to support Trump. And I picked this one for a couple of reasons. One, it says only 300, which I think we can both agree is bullshit. But also this one has some fabulous comments in it. Yeah. So basically every news outlet that covered the walkaway rally in Los Angeles said it was 300 to 400 people. Joshua, was it 300 to 400 people?
I think Fox even said it was 400. Absolutely not. There were at least 1,000 people at that rally, at least. Even with the march, I mean, it just went on for miles. I think way more than 300. Yeah, this is just, they downplayed it. Again, it could be an honest mistake. I mean, how do you know what 300 looks like versus 1,000? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I do. I 100% do, because I've given talks to rooms that were 300 to 400 people, and I've given talks to rooms that were 1,000 and more. This audience was over 1,000. Like there is no question in my mind. I'm not playing it up. I said it all day when we were there before we even saw any of this coverage. I said there's over 1,000 people here.
Right. No, it was definitely over 1,000 people. I mean, 300 people you could count. You could eyeball, I think, from like one small section. So yeah. But what are you going to do? They want to downplay it. They don't want, perception is reality. And I think that also it could be an honest mistake, and that you see what you want to see. Like I didn't notice any haters en route. Apparently somebody was protesting during your speech, and I was so focused on you.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
So, I mean, you see what you want to see. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're
Yeah.
looking for something, like if you're looking, oh yeah, there's not many people, you're going to miss things. So who knows?
Well,
Maybe the right lefties who wrote this, they really was an honest mistake.
Well, I think what happened is, so it seems as though the Beverly Hills police, while we were still marching there, sent out a tweet saying there were 400 people at this rally. But the thing of it is what people need to understand, again, not everyone did both the march and the rally. So if they sent out that tweet before the march had arrived, I could actually see a world in which there were 400 people there, but not after the march arrived. And you can timestamp it because you can look at when they made the announcement. It was around like 2:00. We were still marching at that point. We did not get there until later, right?
Right. Definitely, yeah.
So the media is full of bullshit. And the other thing I liked about this story, too, is like once you get into the comments, you see things like, these were obviously not people from West Hollywood and Beverly Hills. They bust them in. Joshua, were people there from West Hollywood and Beverly Hills?
Absolutely there were. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think the fact of the matter is that you can have political leanings, but because of, and I think Scott Baio is a very good person to reference in regard to this. I think that because California, Los Angeles in particular, is so leftist that, I mean, it might be really difficult for him to get a job, just because of his political leanings. So when it comes between allowing yourself to be proud of who you want to vote for, your political ideology, and feeding your kids, I mean, obviously you're going to choose to feed your children. So I think that we have to be a little bit easy on those people who are closet conservatives, because at the end of the day, especially in Los Angeles, your responsibility is not to your political party, but to yourself and to your family. So I think that's important for people to realize, that people have lost jobs over this. And I think that especially in LA, in the arts community, in the acting field, it's a no-brainer. What are you going to do? You're going to, go against the Democratic Party and not eat and not get hired in an already competitive field? Mm-hmm. Even if your director or producer, whoever's hiring, is just as right-leaning as you may not get the job, because it's all this lie. It's all this illusion. But we found out that there are plenty of people in the City of Angels who are actually right-leaning conservatives that have walked away, that are sick of the Democratic Party. But I don't want to say it's not like they don't have balls. It's that they're practical, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. So, guys, don't believe any of what the media tells you about the rally. The rally was awesome. It had really great energy. We both enjoyed ourselves immensely. I mean, I don't know how Brandon's going to top that one, honestly. It was just incredible. But we are going to try. And in fact, we will be in Milwaukee on Saturday, because Brandon, Mikey, and I are going to the Better Discourse Conference on Sunday. And I think we're actually all going to be speaking. And so Brandon's having the rally in Milwaukee on Saturday. So if you are in the greater Milwaukee area, and I'm looking at you too, Chicago, you guys can get on a bus and get to Milwaukee. So come out to the rally. It's going to be awesome. I have just learned super secret undercover info from Mikey, who texted me right before we went on the air, that Carrie Smith from Unsafe Space might also be speaking at the rally. And I'm especially excited about that, because Carrie is the one that actually informed me that Walkaway was not just a bunch of Russian bots, because she was the liberal that walked away. And I found out about it on Unsafe Space, and that's how I got into Walkaway. So, yay. All right. Anything else to say about the Walkaway rally, Joshua?
It was so fun. And I got to meet Scott Baio. I mean, what else is there, really? It was just, It was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool.